Afternoon. It's a lovely afternoon here on the farm. Getting towards golden hour. Beautiful sunny day today, but had a lovely 20 mils of rain yesterday, and so really freshened everything up and given the crops a good boost. Had a bit of free time, and so I thought I'd take the opportunity to go and check out the crops we've got going on, and bring you with me to see what we're doing and also what we've got planned. We've got some summer crops planned, so harvesting the winter ones, and then bringing the summer crops, put the summer crops in. So so I'll bring you with me and hope you enjoy. Of course, Max is with me. He'll come for a look too, and no doubt jump in every single dam that we find along the way. Every dam and every trough. This dog's part fish. He can hardly go past a body of water without jumping in it. That's all right. At least it keeps him cool, especially in the summers. Heading over to the veggie garden now to start it off, and looks like we've got a new calf on the ground. Always exciting to see. Nice little one, only a couple of days old. It and its mum all look happy, so that's wonderful. Just what we want to see. These two have followed us down. Very cute at this age. A little one. Can't ask for much more than that, can you? Happy cow, happy baby. Everyone's happy. But it's not very smart at that age. Haven't figured out how fences work yet. There you go. Through the gate. Off you go. Anyhow, first stop. This is our veggie garden. Fairly decent sized area, and take some weed, and when we have it full, we normally only do sort of half a year. And so you can see this half for this year, and then that half's kind of having a rest, and we'll do stuff next year in it. The rockiest spot on the farm, but my grandfather Rob always says that red dirt grows the best potatoes, and so he found this bit of red dirt and on the side of the hill, and that's where we grow potatoes. But yes, there's been thousands of rocks picked up out of here, but they seem to keep growing. As in, you wouldn't know it, but we've gone over this probably 10 times picking up all the rocks, but every time you plough it, they just seem to pop up. So yeah, here we've got 6 rows of potatoes, Sebagos, I think, from memory. So 6 rows. I think it's about 30 metres long or so up to the end there. And so, yeah, a decent number of potatoes. This isn't for anything financial, just for a bit of fun, and nothing quite like homegrown potatoes. So, just grow them for us and keep us well stocked for winter. So you can sort of see the hills, and then nothing, and stops here. So the rest of this plot here is all going to be set up for corn. But not any old corn, actually, or sweet corn or anything like that. We're actually growing a heirloom variety of corn that is a non-hybrid, non-genetically modified one. There's a little bit of a backstory to this. Just looking at a cow that looks a bit upset over there. Make sure it's okay. So a couple of years ago, we decided to grow a crop of corn on the front paddock, went and purchased the seed, and for 17 acres, I think we had eight bags of corn or something like that. So 8 25 kilo bags, and that cost us $5,000 in seed alone. And we had a really dry year, and it was crop struggled the whole way through. I think it got about 25 mil of rain on it throughout the entire growing season, and so it was not a good crop at all. And we harvested about, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 ton off that, and at kind of roughly $750 per ton, price range. We barely made our money back on seed. And so yes, of course, the drought was a big contributor to that, but also just the outrageous cost of corn seed is a part of that, you know. Yeah, the genetically modified stuff, my goodness, like I understand the advantages and the better yields and the better drought resistance and the better pest resistance, and then you get into certain chemical resistances, and so, you know, you can get GR seed that's glyphosate resistant, and then to spray your whole crop with glyphosate and kill your weeds out, and that's really easy and great. And so I do get that, but certainly for us, we're not big time Iowa corn farmers. Yeah, $5,000 to seed 17 acres is ridiculous. And so, yeah, I looked into it, and I have found an heirloom variety that is not genetically modified, that is not hybrid, insanely expensive, purchased it by the seed rather than by the bag. And so I bought about 2,000 seeds, which you don't want to know how much that cost. And yeah, but not genetically modified means we can keep it, and we can grow it for seed, and then keep it all, and then sow it again next year. And so that's what we're going to do with this patch here. Done the maths, and this little block here, which as I said is about 30 meters long and I think about 10 meters wide there, that'll be enough to plant my 2,000 corn seeds. And so we'll do a video of that soon. We can't really plant corn here safely till the second week in November because we can still get frosts up until that time, and especially considering the value of it, I'm not really interested in taking a big risk with it. And so yeah, second week in November we will come over here and we will sow this down to corn. Yeah, and the reason we did it here is, you know, it's fenced off, it's safe from the cattle, it's not taking up the whole paddock. We've also got water up here that we can use to water it if we need to. So yeah, there's certainly benefits of doing it in this small area. Yeah, potatoes didn't take up all of it. I'm going to put some pumpkins next to it here, so it's kind of there'll be a run of pumpkins all the way up this end. I know it's not a very big area, but we're going to use the cultivator bit for the plants, and then over here, all this bit doesn't have any on it, I'll probably just spray that out again and kill all the weeds, and then let the runners just go out across the paddock wherever they want to. So yeah, that'll fill up this area, and yeah, hopefully in kind of April, March next year, we'll be able to come over here and harvest the corn seed, which again won't be a huge amount, but it will be enough for us to put down one of our whole paddocks of corn. Yeah, again with seed that's completely free. And so, you know, even if it doesn't yield as well and doesn't perform as well and doesn't have as good a pest resistance or chemical resistance or any of that sort of stuff, certainly for us the economics stack up for, you know, free seed by being able to keep it every year versus $5,000 for 17 acres seed. Well, we're a long way ahead, even if the yield is lower and we spend more on chemicals and different bits and pieces like that. So anyway, that's the theory, and I'm certainly bringing you along for the journey, and we'll see how that goes. So we now come to Max's favourite stop, which is not at all crop related, but definitely water related. Our lovely creek, and of course Max can't help himself, huh? Hey puppy? Probably Max's favourite spot in the farm here, actually. So this is a lovely creek, but like it doesn't flow all the time, and so I don't know, probably more of a lagoon for us. It's not very deep, and so it dries up fairly easily in a drought. But yeah, lovely to have it when we do. A bit of water for cattle, and yeah, a bit of entertainment for Max. There you go, second stop. So we've got a paddock of pasture here. I know it doesn't look like much at the moment, but yeah, it got flogged out over winter. This was kind of our backup feed for cattle, and yeah, so I let them in here. It's a fescue, which grows really well here, and especially in the winter, it doesn't mind the frost, which is wonderful. All the dead stalks you can see there are oats, so we just put a bit of oats in to thin it out, and we were seeding it just to help, you know, kind of get the rate closer to where we needed it to be, because fescue is a very small seed that you don't need a lot of. So I put a bit of oats in there. So it's all the stubble, but yeah, that cattle have been in there for the last couple of months, and yeah, certainly flogged that right out, and so we'll give that paddock a rest over summer and let that really grow back, and hopefully, yeah, that'll be ready for us to come into next winter again. So this paddock doesn't look like much, but there is lucerne there. Yeah, and it probably wants, we'll probably spray that out this year and get rid of all the weeds out of it. There's a fair bit of other stuff in there, and again over winter, cattle giving it a hard time and stuff like that, so yeah, but there's probably about 10 acres of lucerne there, and then there's also more down where the cattle are. It's probably a bit hard to see from here, but right down there where the cows are, there's another paddock of lucerne down there as well, and so yeah, again, try and lock those up, spray the weeds out of them and let them build up, whether we cut it for hay or just for grazing. But yeah, we'll certainly, now the warmer weather's here and we've had some good rain, we'll get that going again. So this paddock here I ploughed up just before the rain, another 10 acres in sort of two sections here, the contour bank in the middle. This is all going down to millet over summer, so yeah, we like millet for hay. It does really well here, produces really good hay, and so yeah, I ploughed this up with a chisel plough, and then it had it's had a couple of doses of rain on it, so probably about 1.5 inches or something, which is great. It's helped break all those clods down. Ploughed it a few more times, and then similar to corn, because it doesn't take frost, we'll sow that millet in probably the second week in November or a little bit after, and get that in and get that up, and then yeah, so hopefully cut that for some hay will be the plan. Down the front paddock now, so this is the 17 acres that we had the corn in, not last year but the year before, but yes, this is broken up into two blocks. You got a big one down here and then a contour bank and a small block up here, so that what you'll see is a bit later. We sowed that a bit after this one, but yeah, really happy with this crop. It's a beautiful crop. It's a lovely dark green, heaps of heads on it, nice and high. Kind of would be above my knees, and I'm fairly tall, and it'll still got a bit more growing yet. So yeah, so this is a grazing variety of oats, which most people use for that purpose. But yeah, we're growing it for seed. So we'll harvest all of this, and then we'll grade it, and we'll treat it, and we'll bag it up in 25 kilo bags and sell it to other people to sow for their grazing purposes. So yeah, New England, where we're located, is not much of a grain growing region. It's a very big grazing region, and so yeah, it's what we're doing here is not very common, but yeah, certainly a good thing to do, because there's lots of demand for grazing products like oats and things like that. So yeah, that's the plan. And yeah, look, I'm hoping, oats is a tricky crop in the sense that, you know, it doesn't weigh much, and so it's really hard to tell what it's going to yield like, but I think it'll yield pretty well. So we didn't sow it very heavily because this variety, because everyone wants it, we were struggling to get seed, and so I think we went about roughly 12 kilos to the acre, I think, in seeding rate. So it was fairly light, but it is also stooled really well. And so if you're not familiar with oats, I'll just show you it. A crop like this. So you can kind of look at a plant like this one here, for example, and it's probably hard to see on camera, but all of these stems, which have got all of these seeds on them, they all came from one seed of one oat seed. And so I'll count that. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So one oat seed produced 10 stalks, which are these 10 here, and then each of those stalks will produce its own seeds. And so if we count one of those, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh look, I'm going to estimate probably 30 or so on that head, rather than wasting your time counting them all. And so not that that's the case with everyone, but if you've got 30 on 10, then that's 300 seeds of oats from one planted. And so of course there won't be, you know, that'd be the ideal. You know, there's ones with less stems and ones with less heads, but overall I think it's pretty good. So it's all just starting to come out and head now, looking really pretty. It's at a beautiful stage, and yeah, lovely crop. And kind of look down the tram lines here and yeah, get a bit of an idea. And so yeah, we're hoping that'll go a tonne to the acre. And so yeah, that'll be really good. If any more, be a good bonus, but we'll see, and all have to wait to see what that yields. But that hopefully won't be too long, probably six weeks or so, 2 months maybe at the most. Yeah, just keep coming back and checking the moisture once it's all ripened, and then bring the old gleaner down and get this cut and get it in the silos and get it treated and get it out as seed. So that's the plan. The 20 mils of rain we had yesterday really helped. That was very well timed, as in we weren't desperate for it, but it was a lovely little bonus. So yeah, just enough to just top this crop's moisture off. Rightio, so just got over to the second block, which is property owned by Mum, but we crop it, and so yeah, we've got some stuff in over here and some plans as well. I'll let Max out, and he can go. Max, off you go. Go, Max. Good boy, go on, off you go. Good boy. Oh, there you go. Let the wet dog out, and he can run and swim and do whatever he pleases. So yeah, we've got another 10 acres of oats in here, same variety. This is a little bit further behind than ours, which I'm not entirely sure why, because it was sowed at the same time and had the same fertiliser and yeah, herbicides and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, so it's hard to tell, but I think this is a little bit more of an even crop over here. It's had sunflowers in it last year, and they reckon that does a lot of good for the soil, so I'm assuming that's helped us a bit. Yeah, so another 10 acres, again, all coming out and head. Yeah, pretty happy with it, and yeah, certainly not patchy at all. It's very, very consistent. Not as good as the best bits at the other farm, but probably overall I think it might yield better. As in, certainly, you know, we're talking about the stooling effects before, and if you look at, like, sorry, it's a bit hard to see, if you look at some of those, like, my goodness, there could, do you know what I mean, there could be 20 stems out of one seed there, and so yeah, certainly good sign for a decent yield. And just over the other side of the road here, so all of this has been sprayed out. There's nearly 20 acres here, sort of a big long thin paddock. This is all going down to buckwheat, and so is the oats. So both paddocks of oats, after we harvest them, will also go down to buckwheat. This one had millet in it, and last year, and you can see that's some of the stuff, the green stuff that's reshooting now, just a little bit of millet seed. Yeah, it's all been sprayed out. This paddock's a shocker for couch grass, and so you can see these kind of dead patches. That's where the couch was. It's all been sprayed out, and it's kind of all over this paddock. So if you don't know, couch grass is a shocker because it's incredibly tough, and oh my goodness, that's wet. Oh no. Busy talking, I'm busy now. Rightio, let's see if full drive can get us out. Oh, wonderful. Gonna get out of that wet spot and not go back in again. Oh my gosh. Oh, Max, is that right? Is that right? Huh? Yes, you're a good boy, good boy. won't be going over that side of the paddock again. But yeah, so as I was saying, couch grass is a real shocker because if you plough it and cut it off, because its sort of root system, it can respawn from that effectively, and so ploughing doesn't do anything. If anything, it makes it worse because you cut it off and spread it around the paddock, and then it's able just to keep growing from that bit. And so you've got to spray it out, and then you've got to give it plenty of time for that chemical to soak from the root system. And so I'll show you here in this patch. And yet, if you look down here, this darn stuff's coming back again. And so, yeah, like just reshooting out of nothing. It's all the green, everything that was green at the time died. But then there's just new stuff that's coming back. And so it's sort of shot up again from underground. And so, yes, all that means is that I've just got to go and give this another hit. And hopefully get it all the second time. Good thing is with buckwheat going in, I can spray the grasses out of it, as in obviously last year it was millet, and so you got grass crop and grass weed, and it's very difficult to kill the grass weed without killing the grass crop. But this year with buckwheat, it won't be a problem. It won't be a problem at all to spray that out. But I'd much prefer to have it dead and gone before we put it in. That's millet. That's nothing to be worried about. That's not the couch grass, but yeah, that'll die easily. Certainly if I spray it out, but even ploughing that out when we come to sow it and stuff. But yeah, it's a bit of a closer look at the oats. Lovely and thick, beautiful crop. As in, not as high as at the other farm, but as I said before, the stalling is insane. The amount of seeds, the amount of stems per seed is really good, and so very, very happy with that. Yeah, so there's that lovely 10 acres, and the farm sort of goes up there a bit further, and we've got some cattle up in the top 20 acres there. Rightio, well that's about it. That's kind of what we've got going on and what we've got planned. So in summary, you've got about 27 acres of oats that we're hoping to get 35 tonne, 40 if we're doing real well, off, that we then turn to grade and turn to seed oats. We are going to put all the area of oats plus this extra 20 acres down to buckwheat, and then that'll just get sold bulk. We're not doing organic buckwheat. We're going to do it conventionally and make the most of fertilizers and chemicals. You do get paid slightly less for it, but we reckon that it's worth it for not having the headache of certified organic, all the rules and stuff that come along with that, but also just the advantages of I think I'm trying to remember the price difference. It's like, I don't remember, it's I think it's over 2,000 a tonne certified organic, and it's 1,500 or 1,200. Again, it all changes year to year, but this was last year for non-organic. But we reckon you can do better non-organic without all the paying for the certifying stuff, but then also being able to use fertilizer and herbicides on it, you get a better yield, and so you can get more tons off an area. And so yes, you're getting less per tonne, but you're getting more tonnes. And so as long as you're getting more tonnes and that price difference per tonne, then you're actually ahead. And so that's the theory we're running on. And so yeah, summer crops will be what's that maths? 47 acres of buckwheat, and like, I don't know, 1/10 of an acre of corn. But yeah, that's all right. It's our seed corn for next year, and good crop of that will do us plenty for 20 acres of corn this time next year in the front paddock. So yeah, anyway, certainly bringing you along for all of that, all the interesting things. We've got sowing and harvesting and all sorts of different things coming up. So lots of baling and hay raking and mowing and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, so hope you enjoyed, and hope this brings you kind of up to speed on what's happening on the farm. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.